Did you know that most of the health decline people experience after age 70 is not inevitable? It's a choice. Not the kind of choice you make once, but the kind you make every day with your habits, your mind, and your willpower to keep moving when everything in your body tells you to sit down. I'll shed light on how making this choice can impact your life. If you are over 60 and worried about becoming frail, dependent, or sick as you age, this video will change everything you believe about aging. By the end, you will fully embrace it. I am sharing the story of Dennis Patterson, a 73-year-old retired engineer from Boulder, Colorado. Last year, he went to his doctor for his annual checkup. He did this regularly every year. After running the tests, his doctor looked at him and said, "Dennis, your blood values, cardiovascular health, and bone density are better than most of my 50-year-old patients. What are you doing?" The doctor seemed quite surprised as he said this. Dennis didn't have a magic pill or expensive treatment. He didn't need them anyway. He had 6 simple daily habits that transformed him from a man in his 50s going to a nursing home to someone in his 70s climbing 2.50 million mountains. What I'm saying may sound strange to you, but Dennis achieved it. It's not genetic. Dennis had a heart attack at age 54. Getting through this process was very difficult for him, but he did it. While going through this, he thought it was a turning point in his life and maybe he was living his last moments. But that wasn't the case. He had to make a decision. Would he do what was right for himself? And he did just that. He made the right decision. Most importantly, these are not expensive interventions. Dennis is a modest engineer living on a pension. So spending a lot of money is not really an issue. These are choices that everyone can start making today. Choices that will determine whether you live your 70s, 80s, and 90s or just exist. You will understand how important they are when you try them. Stick with me until the end, because the 6th habit is the difference between aging and growing, which most people overlook. Let's get started. Habit 1. Walk 5 miles every morning without excuses. Dennis wakes up at 5:30 every morning. Not because he has to, because he wants to. By 6 o'clock, he's out the door in his walking boots, hiking the trails around Boulder. Walking in that clean air at that hour of the morning feels amazing. 5 miles every day. Rain, snow, heat, it doesn't matter. He's been doing this for 18 years since he turned 55, right after his heart attack. It took time to establish this routine. It tested his willpower, but he made it stick. Before his heart attack, Dennis was like most American men in their 50s. As an engineer, he worked long hours, ate fast food for lunch, spent his evenings watching TV on the couch, and never exercised. He couldn't believe what he had done to himself, but time had caught up with him. He was 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed 229 pounds. His cholesterol was very high. He was truly sorry for putting himself in this situation. His blood pressure was 160/100. How had he done this to himself? It was a terrible situation. His doctor warned him repeatedly, but Dennis ignored him. He never thought he would pay the price, until his body left him no choice. He had a heart attack. Dennis was 54 years old when he felt crushing chest pain while sitting at his desk. He couldn't lift his arm and was rushed to the hospital, where he had a stent placed and spent a week recovering. During his hospital stay, he thought about how unhealthy he had lived in the past. He regretted his actions, but what was done was done. The cardiologist told him plainly, "You have a choice. Either completely change your lifestyle or plan for another heart attack in the next few years." Most people don't survive the second one. The doctor was both sad and very serious as he said this. That conversation changed Dennis's life. It was time to make a change, and he was determined to do so. The day he came home from the hospital, he started walking. At first, he could barely manage a lap around the block without getting winded. But every day he went a little further. The further he went, the stronger he felt. And the stronger he felt, the further he went. Within 6 months, he was walking 3 miles. Within a year, 5 miles. Now, at 73, he has walked over 31,690 miles, equivalent to walking around the entire world multiple times. These walks gave him confidence and made him feel much healthier. What Dennis discovered was that walking is not just exercise. It is meditation, therapy, and preventive medicine all rolled into one. It was as if he had found an indescribable treasure at his age. His blood pressure returned to normal. His cholesterol dropped. His health improved day by day. He lost exactly 59.53 pounds and has maintained it for 18 years. It's not easy to do, but he's succeeding. If you think you can show such great willpower like him, please mention it in the comments. His doctor told him that his consistent daily walks likely saved his life and gave him decades he wouldn't have otherwise had. He was thrilled to hear this, and that's when he realized how right his decision had been. But what Dennis said was the most important part. Walking had become a non-negotiable routine for him. It wasn't something he did when he felt like it. It was now a chore for him. It wasn't something he skipped when it was cold or when he was tired. It was an indispensable part of his life, as fundamental as brushing his teeth. And this consistency, this refusal to make excuses, is the most fundamental thing that separates those who remain healthy in their 70s from those who don't. Imagine doing this for months and years. Second habit, lifting weights at the gym 3 times a week. When Dennis turned 60, he noticed something alarming. He was struggling to open jars. Carrying grocery bags from the car left him exhausted. He didn't feel like his old self. Getting up from a low chair required effort. He was losing muscle mass, a condition called sarcopenia that affects most people as they age. Of course, he was getting older, but it was upsetting to notice it so dramatically. But Dennis learned that muscle loss is not inevitable. It can be prevented. It made him very happy to know that if he wanted to and worked hard, he could change this situation. So, at 60, Dennis joined a gym for the first time in his life. Over time, he would realize what a good decision this was for him. At first, it felt ridiculous. He was by far the oldest person there, with decades between them. He thought people would look at him judgmentally and felt self-conscious. While young men were lifting hundreds of pounds, Dennis was struggling with 10-pound dumbbells. But he didn't care. After all, he was doing this workout for his health. He hired a trainer for 3 months to learn proper form and committed to showing up 3 days a week, no matter what. And he did everything he could to learn. He truly believed he would regain his former strength and power. 18 years later, at age 73, Dennis can deadlift 185.19 pounds, bench press 135 pounds, and do a full pull-up. He worked for months, putting in the effort to achieve this. His trainer recently told him he was in the top 5% of strength for men his age. Hearing this was a source of pride. His efforts were beginning to pay off. But more importantly, Dennis could carry his grandchildren, move his own furniture, and live independently without relying on anyone for physical tasks. Not needing anyone was truly a wonderful feeling. He felt completely strong. Science backs this up. Studies show that strength training after age 60 is one of the most important things you can do to maintain independence, prevent falls, preserve bone density, and extend lifespan. In this case, Dennis had reversed his previous condition. The American College of Sports Medicine recommends that everyone over 65 do resistance training at least twice a week. Dennis does it 3 times. Sometimes the number increases, but it never decreases. What Dennis learned was that you don't have to be a bodybuilder, and you don't have to do excessive heavy training. You just need to challenge your muscles regularly to prevent them from atrophying. The more you pushed them, the more they continued to develop. He focused on compound movements, squats, deadlifts, presses, rows, exercises that mimic real-life activities. And he never got injured because he prioritized form over ego. Paying attention to these things got him where he wanted to be. His doctor told him that Dennis's bone density, muscle mass, and functional strength were equivalent to someone 20 years younger. This wasn't genetic. It was the result of consistently spending 3 hours a week at the gym for nearly 20 years. It took time, and he did it. Third habit, primarily following a plant-based Mediterranean diet. After his heart attack, Dennis's cardiologist gave him a choice: take statin medication for the rest of his life, or dramatically change his diet so he wouldn't need it. Dennis chose the diet. He researched everything he could find about heart health. He discovered the Mediterranean diet, which studies showed could reduce the risk of heart disease by up to 30%. He learned about the benefits of plant-based eating, and he made a radical change. He cut out 90% of the dairy and processed foods that had dominated his diet for 54 years. Now, a typical day for Dennis looks like this: oatmeal, blueberries, and walnuts for breakfast. For lunch, a huge salad with chickpeas, olive oil, and vegetables. For dinner, grilled salmon or lentil soup and whole grain bread. Snacks include fruit, nuts, or hummus with vegetables. He drinks water, black coffee, and occasionally red wine. It wasn't easy at first. Dennis loved steak, hamburgers, pizza, ice cream, all the staples of the standard American diet. Giving them up felt like punishment. But within 3 months, something changed. He started eating vegetables. Processed foods began to taste too salty or too sweet. His energy levels skyrocketed. His digestion improved. And his blood values showed dramatic changes. His LDL cholesterol dropped from 180 to 85. His triglycerides dropped from 220 to 90. His A1C, a measure of blood sugar control, went from pre-diabetic levels to completely normal. His doctor was shocked. Dennis had essentially reversed 54 years of dietary damage in less than 2 years. Now, at 73, Dennis takes no medication other than low-dose aspirin, no blood pressure medication, no cholesterol medication, no diabetes medication, nothing. His doctor attributes this entirely to his diet and exercise habits. Dennis isn't extreme about it. He still eats meat occasionally, maybe once or twice a week. He eats sweets on special occasions. But 90% of his diet consists of whole plant-based foods. And that 90% is what matters. Dennis tells people, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Make most of your meals healthy, and your body will forgive the occasional indulgence. Fourth habit, staying socially connected through weekly activity. One of the biggest threats to healthy aging isn't physical, it's social isolation. Studies show that loneliness is as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of dementia, heart disease, depression, and early death. Dennis knows this because he almost fell into that trap after retiring at 65. In the first few months of retirement, Dennis faded away. He slept, did what he wanted, and didn't answer to anyone. But by the 6th month, he realized he was lonely. He had lost the daily social interaction of work. His wife had her own activities and friends. Their children lived in different states. Dennis was going days without talking to almost anyone. He recognized the danger and took action. He joined a bowling league that met every Tuesday evening. He started going to a book club at the local library every Thursday. He volunteers at a community garden every Saturday morning. He joined a hiking group that takes weekend trips to the Rocky Mountains. And he makes a point of having coffee with a friend at least once a week. These aren't just fun activities. They're health interventions. Dennis's social calendar keeps him busy, gives him reasons to leave the house, exposes him to new ideas and perspectives, and provides a support network. When Dennis had a minor health scare last year, it was his walking buddies who noticed something was wrong and convinced him to see a doctor right away. The American Psychological Association has identified social connection as one of the key factors in healthy aging. People with strong social networks live longer, have better cognitive function, and report higher life satisfaction than those who are isolated. Dennis prioritizes social connection just as much as he prioritizes exercise and diet. He plans, he commits, he doesn't cancel unless absolutely necessary. And at 73, he has a richer social life than he did at 50. If you're watching this video and find these insights valuable, please let me know you're here by typing Habit 4 below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue to create good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move on. Fifth habit: challenging his brain with new skills every year. Dennis believes the brain is like a muscle. Use it or lose it, and he's determined to use it. Every year, Dennis chooses a new skill to learn, something completely outside his comfort zone, something that forces his brain to create new neural pathways and stay sharp. At 66, he learned to play the guitar. He had never played an instrument in his life. He took lessons for a year, practiced every day, and now he can play dozens of songs. At 68, he learned Spanish. He used apps, took online lessons, and practiced with a conversation group. He is now conversational and plans to visit Spain. At 70, he took a photography course and learned to use professional cameras and editing software. At 72, he learned to cook gourmet meals, taking classes at a local culinary school. This year, at 73, Dennis is learning to paint. He bought supplies, joined a weekly art class, and paints for an hour every Sunday morning. Is he good? Not really. Does it matter? Not at all. It's not about mastery. It's about growth. Neuroscientists have discovered that learning new skills, especially in later life, is one of the most powerful ways to maintain cognitive function and prevent dementia. When you learn something new, your brain creates new connections, increases gray matter density, and improves overall brain health. Studies show that people who engage in lifelong learning have a 50% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Dennis also does daily brain exercises. Every morning, he solves the New York Times crossword puzzle with his coffee. He plays chess online. Every night before bed, he reads for at least 30 minutes, always nonfiction books on topics he knows nothing about. His doctor recently administered a cognitive test as part of his annual checkup. The results showed that Dennis's memory, processing speed, and problem-solving skills were in the top 10% for his age group. His doctor told him that his commitment to challenging his brain was probably the reason he was so sharp at 73. What Dennis tells people is that you're never too old to learn. The belief that you can't teach an old dog new tricks is a myth that keeps people mentally stagnant. Every new skill you learn is an investment in your future cognitive health. Sixth habit, he takes an adventure trip. Every year. This is the habit that surprises people most. At 73, Dennis doesn't just maintain his health, he uses it. Every year, he takes a trip that pushes him physically and mentally. Something that proves to himself that age is just a number. At 68, he hiked the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu in Peru. At 70, he backpacked through Iceland, hiking glaciers and volcanoes. At 71, he did a 2-week cycling trip through the vineyards of France. At 72, he climbed to the base camp of Mount Everest in Nepal. This year, at 73, he's planning to hike the Tour du Mont Blanc, a 110-mile trek through France, Italy, and Switzerland. His kids think he's crazy. His friends worry about him. But Dennis's doctor gave him full clearance and said, "You're healthier than most people half your age. Go live your life." These trips aren't just vacations. They're proof of what's possible when you take care of your body and mind. Doing this activity made him feel perfect. They're motivations that keep Dennis disciplined about his daily habits, and they're experiences that make life worth living. Everything was a whole, and he was aware of this. He would strive for these benefits he was thinking about. Dennis tells his grandkids about climbing mountains in Nepal, and their eyes light up with amazement. This is a legacy. Doing this meant breaking down indestructible taboos for himself. But more than that, these adventures keep Dennis young in spirit. He felt like he could do everything as he used to. He meets people from around the world. He gets to know new cultures. He pushes his limits. He experiences awe and wonder. He proves to himself year after year that he's not slowing down. While his peers were going through difficult times, he didn't leave even one situation against him with this determined effort. He was proving that he changed this with effort, determination, and resolve. Research supports this. Studies show that novel experiences, especially those that combine physical challenge with new environments, are incredibly beneficial for brain health and overall well-being. Adventure travel in later life is associated with increased life satisfaction, better mood, and even improved physical health markers. Dennis's philosophy is simple. I'm going to use this body until it stops working. And by taking care of it, I'm making sure it works for as long as possible. Final thoughts. Dennis Patterson is 73 years old. His doctor says he has the health markers of someone in their early 50s. He walks 5 miles every morning. He lifts weights 3 times a week. He eats a mostly plant-based diet. He stays socially connected. He challenges his brain with new skills. And he takes adventure trips that prove age is just a number. None of this is expensive. None of it requires special genetics. It just requires a decision, followed by daily action, for years. Most people won't do it. They'll make excuses about being too old, too busy, too tired. But those excuses are what lead to nursing homes, medications, and lost independence. Nobody wanted these, but they weren't doing anything to change them either. If you're over 60 and you want to be like Dennis, start today. Not tomorrow. Today. Pick one habit. Start walking. Join a gym. Change your diet. Call a friend. Learn something new. Book a trip. Just start. Your 70s, 80s, and 90s can be the best years of your life, or they can be slow decline. The choice is yours, and that choice is made every single day with small decisions that compound over time. Thank you for watching Dennis's story. Write as a comment below which habit you're going to start today. If this video inspired you, please like, subscribe, and share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make right now. Make them count.